What is up? Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me in today's income stream where we're just going to chill out. I'm going to answer some questions for you. We're going to have some fun, and hopefully we'll have a great start to Sunday, August 15th, I think. 16th. No, halfway through the month already. So I'm going to play the intro music, I'm going to put some chill out music, and I'll just be here to answer your questions. Happy Sunday, everybody. Thanks for being here.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Flynn.
Good morning, y'all. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining me today. Day 151 of the income stream. We had a really great week talking about, what did we talk about? We talked about affiliate marketing, and tomorrow we're going to be talking about another topic that we'll be diving into, but we'll be having a lot of fun today. And so if you have a question, just pop in your question in the chat box. Just type in the word question in all caps, or if you're a member here, and thank you if you are a member, use the question mark emoji, and then I'll be there to answer your questions as much as possible. So thank you again, guys. Let me go over to our favorite streaming royalty-free music, courtesy of Harris Heller from Alpha Gaming, and we're gonna pop him onto Spotify today. So I'm gonna play the music. If you can let me know, chat, if the quality and the levels are okay, that'd be great. So we should be having it down, having it done in the background. If we need to turn it up or if it's all good, let me know. But it's kind of nice on Sundays, just relaxing a little bit. I didn't do my hair this morning. I'll take a shower after this. I'm just kind of relaxing. Woke up, read some articles, checked the garden a little bit, and then we're good to go from there. Let's say hello to some people first before we get some questions coming in. Fun will now commence. Hello, Paximus Enterprises. What's up? We got Tondale in the house. We got our good old friends here. Martin, if you're watching the replay, hashtag team replay. But if you're here, say hello to your friends, just like everybody here is doing already. AV Peers, what's up? Great to see you here. Canada Cat, good morning all. Welcome, and great. Sounds great. Thanks, Martin. So feel free to ask some questions, or let's just have a chat. I don't know if you saw yesterday, I was in the garden in the 90-degree+ Fahrenheit weather, which I know is not the hottest from maybe some of where you're at. I hope you guys are staying cool, though. We definitely have this heat wave going on. Mid-Cali's sort of in flames right now, which is kind of unfortunate, and I just pray that everybody's safe and okay over there. But thankfully, down here in Southern California, we're doing okay in San Diego so far, but it's definitely heating up. But I was in the garden yesterday building some raised garden beds, and somebody go wake up. Are there technical issues? Are there technical issues? I feel like we're going okay. Somebody go wake up Pat Flynn. Did that come in late? Okay, well anyway, I see some questions coming in, so we're all good. What's up, Rex? Great to see you. I was in the garden yesterday building and actually cutting some wood and using a drill, doing like really cool making things type of stuff, and I made 3 raised garden beds, or actually I'm in the first phase of that, which I'm really excited about. So the next phase is we're gonna add some liners, we're gonna put them in the garden, we're gonna actually start putting soil in there, and then hopefully once it cools down, we'll start our fall crops so that we can maybe harvest some salads and some salsa and stuff. The kids each have their own bed. They have a little piece of wood that they're gonna decorate and paint that we're gonna pop onto the front of the raised bed gardens, and then they're gonna tend to it. I'm gonna teach them as I learned, much like how I do online. I don't know everything. In fact, I'm learning a lot from Epic Gardening and several others here on YouTube about how to garden at home, especially in a suburban sort of backyard area with not quite a lot of space. And I'm having a lot of fun, and it's nice to get outside. It's definitely draining to be in the sun for that long, and my hands are sore every day because I'm tilling and whatnot. But anyway, it's super fun. Super fun. Okay, let's answer some questions. Let's start with this one. Fabio, hey Pat, I feel like everything I try fails. I don't know why it happens. Any advice? The truth is, we have to fail. That's where we learn from. That's how we learn from our mistakes, and how we then persevere and pivot into parts that do work. There could be a number of reasons why a person may fail quite often, and it could be very much a self-inflicted wound, if you get what I'm saying. Meaning, there could be a lot of self-doubts, there could be a lot of procrastination, there could be potentially people externally who you might be surrounding yourself with who might put you down. There's a number of different reasons, but I would say keep going. The biggest failure is giving up. The fact that you're trying, the fact that you are putting yourself out there and you're experimenting is really key. I think if you were like me and you grew up in a household where you were expected to be perfect and everything was supposed to be done right the first time, that's a very, very tough mindset to have when you are a business owner or starting out as an entrepreneur and trying something either on the side or full time. And that's how I was, and it was a very, very big internal struggle. The War of Art is a great book I'd recommend reading by Stephen Pressfield. And The War of Art is an amazing book that really dives into what's happening up here, because oftentimes it's up here that leads to our failures versus a lot of things that we think or are using as excuses. Cool. But just keep going. You know, it happens because we just maybe don't know the right steps. Maybe we haven't positioned ourselves correctly, but the more you dive deeper into the why behind that, the more you're going to uncover exactly what the reasons perhaps were. Question from Cindy. Just started meeting a group of my community parents every Monday to chat about parenting. That's super awesome. I think it's a smart idea. Which apps help for registration, recording, and relay? Using Zoom, but taking of YouTube Live. So you're on Zoom, which is great because you can collect registrations and such there, obviously, but then you can stream it live on YouTube. There's a number of different ways to do this. You can have this be sort of unlisted, I believe, or you could in fact have it be something that they register on like a landing page, and on the landing page you'd be able to actually capture their email address and then send them the direct link to Zoom. And that would probably be the easiest thing since you're already using Zoom already, or perhaps it's a link to a private Facebook group that then they get access to with information, and you can actually stream from Zoom to there as well. If it's going to be on YouTube, it's likely going to be live, but it could also be for members only. And you can have a small monthly fee, in fact, and have members only live streams on YouTube as well, which I found out. I'm not doing any members only live streams here currently, but it's definitely something that is possible for sure. Let's see. Oh my God, the photo of you in your gardening hat was so genuine and lovely. And everybody says I look so different because you can't see any of my face. It's a beard, glasses, hat. Thank you though, Contempo, I appreciate you. Let's see, good morning, Save Like a Bear, glad you're here, thank you so much. Glad the fires are still around 20 miles away. Michael, stay safe, please. Cool. Pat, nice to see the Brisbane mug on the promo thumbnail. Thank you. Yeah, Brisbane, one of my favorite cities in the world, and Australia. Have some family over there too. Queen Street Marketplace is very fond of that, as well as all the amazing Australian coffee. All right, question from Big Papa. Love it when you call me Big Papa. I need to beta test my course, and I need a small testing group. What should I do to get my founders group? I would start reaching out to different people individually right now who perhaps fit the target audience that you're hoping to help and serve with this course that you have. Getting into Facebook groups and any relationships that you have with people right now. You don't need a big beta group. In fact, 5 to 10 people would even be considered a lot. Sometimes even 3 can be really great, because what it does is it helps you, number one, validate that this course actually does work, which is so important, right? When we're starting something out, especially something new, a lot of times in our brain, we put ourselves down because we're like, I don't know if this is gonna work. And maybe what if it's not good? And we start kind of talking in that way and not being confident, and then our consumers, our customers are not gonna feel confident if we're not confident. So having some beta testers in there is great, because you can position it as you'd be one of the first to go through. This is sort of a way for us to kind of collect feedback from each other as we build this out. I'm gonna make sure to take special care of you along the way. Whether you choose to get people to pay for that or not up front is up to you. The payment up front, especially at a discount for something like this, could be really great because it really validates with a person's wallet versus just their word. But what's nice about this is after you beta test a group, you'll have these amazing testimonials at the end. You'll have the ability to keep things going from there, and you'll be more likely to have more confidence as you move forward into the actual public sale. And you'll have people see, wow, I have seen that people have used this and there's proof here, and so let me see if I can get access to it too. Michael says, we often talk ourselves out of our own success, for sure. Question, did you get a chance to connect with Epic Gardening yet? Thanks, Yasmin. Yes, in fact, I have. We've connected indeed over Instagram, and we've had a lot of back and forth chats. He's definitely willing to help out. He's in San Diego. I haven't connected with him personally in person yet, but that'll happen really soon once we are able to sort of see people for sure. Question, have you made any changes to your streaming setup since the earlier video? Are you still happy with your setup, Rodecaster Pro?
Bruh.
Still using the Rodecaster Pro for sure, loving it to death. I am using different cameras though. This is a camera here that actually, unfortunately, the battery ran out, so I am unable to pop it on right now. But this is a Sony ZV-1 on a switch pod, and I have it in a really interesting way. I have a clamp connected to one of the legs of the switch pod here as opposed to up here, because I usually use this when I'm streaming on Twitch and I need it to kind of bend around my monitor. But this provides a really nice sort of more creamy camera angle. By creamy, I mean it's just very intimate up close and the quality is amazing. And so I can have a vlog-like video angle that I can just pop into really quick, which again, I can't do right now because I only have the one set up right here with you right now, but it's really fun. And I like the idea of it being a little bit more just close up, more personal. So when I get into storytelling, sometimes I switch that camera, or if I'm demonstrating something, I could really easily pick up the camera and kind of go top down. But other than that, everything else is the same. If you want to check out the live setup exactly, you can go to patflynn.com/live setup. That's been shared like 4,000 times, and it has the entire setup from the software I use to the camera, the lighting, everything. Martin says, super chat. By the way, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Deep felt emotional thanks for the past 151 days. Soon I might miss some due to blue light runs on the ambulance. I've learned so much. That's okay, Martin. I know you got some work to do and you are just crushing it with your podcast. I think over 750,000 downloads by now for you, which is amazing. And that's incredible. So thank you so much for the super chat and your support, Martin. I recognize you. I see you here. You belong here. And whenever you can come in, I appreciate you for that. Please don't feel bad about not being able to come in. All right. Question from Rex. I'm developing a unit conversion app on the PC for Windows. Is this something you would review? Would you need to first install it in order to run it? Would I personally review a unit conversion app on the PC? I need to learn a little bit more, Rex. If you wanted to shoot me an email, pat@patflynn.com, if that's a question for me specifically, I'm not sure what it is or what it does, but it's something that a lot of people ask me to do all the time, is to review their things. And as a leader, I need to really make sure, especially with a larger audience and a lot of trust that I've earned from you, I need to really be careful about, and I'm not saying this about you, Rex, just people in general will reach out to me wanting me to push their product in front of my audience, in front of you. And I can't do that to everybody. If I said yes to everybody, I'd have to say yes to everybody. If I said yes to a lot of people, I'd have to, try to fit other people in that may or may not fit in that bill. And more than that, a lot of these products just aren't great. So I'm really, really sensitive to what I promote, and I only promote other people's stuff if I've used it for a while and if I'm familiar with it and if I know it can also help my audience. So not saying yes, not saying no, Rex, I'm just saying that's how I approach things. And so I typically say no by default and then have hopefully this person convince me otherwise, that this is worth my time and my audience's attention mostly. And it's just something that you got to pay attention to once you start building an audience, and it's better to say no more often. I started a content creation series, well done, and I've started a happy hour. Do I put them in a Facebook group? I think putting them in a group where they can interact with each other is an amazing idea. If that's Facebook, or if that's something like circle.co or Mighty Networks or something else, just something, or maybe even a group chat, right, on WhatsApp, or even a text message group chat. These little tiny groups of people who get together are really important, because this is where connections are made. And if you are the reason these connections are being made, you are more able to grow as an authority, and people are going to continue to come back to you. So I think that's a really smart idea. It's a great place to, in between happy hour calls, be able to converse with each other, to connect with each other, to network. I think it would be a smart idea. And the nice thing about a Facebook group is it's free. Paximus, what's up, Paximus? I'm doing a lot more with my YouTube channel, but it's still a small channel. And I was thinking about you doing merch. What are your thoughts about selling merch as a small YouTube following? I think that merch can be really great. I don't think there's any harm in having merch. It can even increase your authority level a little bit because not everybody has merch, especially if the merch is really cool. And I know that with you and your graphic design work and capabilities, it would be pretty cool merch, I'm assuming. We have merch here from SwitchPod. I have merch for Ask Pat. Merch is great because it allows people who are in your brand, whether your brand is big or small, to feel more connected to you. And I think that's all the reason you need, right? You might not sell a lot, and it's not really a money play, in my opinion. I think it's more of a brand play and a community play to have merch. I know some YouTubers, however, who are killing it in the merch space, and they are absolutely making gangbusters on it. But they have much larger audiences, and they can do things at scale. They can order more things at a cheaper price, sell them, and celebrate with their audience, and it kind of does double, make money, and also improve the community and the brand as well. So I think it'd be fun to experiment with and start small, start limited. I think if we were going to do merch, which we will be doing merch, in fact, for the YouTube channel in the future, we're just kind of not wanting to use the Teespring integration, which, yes, does put the little thing in the bottom of the video where you can see the sort of merch you can purchase. I tested that and I did it for a couple days, and I just didn't really like how it felt. I also didn't like the quality as well. And we have some other third-party vendors that we'd love to work with for more of a vendor setup, and it would be pretty awesome, especially with the high quality stuff. And the way we would do it would probably be having limited edition merch that's more you know, hey, there's only 100 of these, and maybe not even t-shirts as well, but something that's maybe a little bit easier to ship and send and not have to worry about sizes and whatnot. Question, are Facebook groups still essential for my YouTube series? I'm testing out my course with a YouTube weekly video and I just included office hours. Do I create a group also? So if you're doing a YouTube series, I mean, the best thing to do is to try and keep them on YouTube, the community there, just like the community here. I think if you can keep everything on one platform, if the platform allows for you to do what you want to do with it, then great. But like we were talking about earlier with your question, I think a Facebook group could be great because then you can pull people out and have a little bit better real-time discussion. YouTube discussions aren't really in real time other than in the live setting, just like right now. Comments and community posts, those aren't real conversations between members of your community. It's a conversation between you and your community, and that's sort of part one. But part two is definitely getting the community to connect with each other even when you're not there, and that's what's cool about a Facebook group. I'd love a Pat face mouse pad. That'd be really strange, Michael. Consult the Blind Guy says, when you're on the video prior to the audio session, is that waves in the audio or just video in general? Martin Hewitt. I'm not exactly sure what that means or who that's for. If you could re-ask that, or if maybe that was, that was for somebody else, it looks like. Cool. Just Samson, Pat, being such a coffee lover as you are, would you ever take 30 days from it to test your willpower? No. Why? What's the reason for doing that? There are health benefits in my opinion, and it's a part of my day. It makes me happy. Why would I not make myself happy? Sure, maybe it would be a cleanse, but I mean, for me, in my opinion, I think that that's the one thing that like I just absolutely love. And why would I sort of have a challenge that removes that love for me? It's be like, hey, I challenge yourself to not be with your family for 30 days and see how much stronger you could be because of that. What? That doesn't make any sense to me. So not that I'm comparing my coffee to family, although they both give me energy and both take a little bit of preparation, but yeah, 30 days, I don't think I can do that. Is there anyone stocking the SwitchPod in Australia? That's a great question. I know we've done partnerships with Rode, which is an Australian company, and they might have some there, but likely no currently. I think that there are some online retailers that would be able to get it sent over to you though. Kwok, yo, Kwok, thank you so much. I know no fee required, but I wanted to show support for this morning and thank you for the constructive feedback on site and channel. You're welcome, Kwok. Thank you so much, Kathy, for the feedback on the feedback that I offered you yesterday. If you don't know what we're talking about, we did a website and YouTube channel review yesterday, and you're just so generous. Again, no fee required. Happy to do it without any payments, but any support that the community provides is awesome and it's welcome. And I pass it over each month to different charities and organizations that we're supporting. This month, we're supporting PolarisProject.org, and also the member fees from the people who sign up for YouTube here and who get access to the emojis and whatnot. For those of you who have the green names, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who have the gray names, you can upgrade to YouTube membership here for just $1.99 a month. And that money goes also to those charities too. But again, not required at all. Question, how did the SPI Pro launch go? Pat, been meaning to ask, but I keep forgetting. Any lessons you can share from the launch? Yeah, actually, in fact, my team and I were putting together a workshop that's happening on August 25th. And it's going to be a free workshop, in fact, that anybody can join because there's just so many lessons that we've learned, too much to talk about in just one small question and answer session here. It went really well, but we learned a lot for sure. Our goal was 500 founding members, and we have just over 500. It's hard to sort of cap it exactly, but we have about 530 members there, each with their own individual founding member badge, and we've been running challenges, and the book club in there has been going excellent, and the communication and the connections that are happening in that community are fantastic. I mean, we've had hundreds of comments from people saying this is the best money they've ever spent with me and online in general. So I'm very stoked on that. And we're going to talk about in this workshop, which will probably be a good 2-hour workshop that yes, there will be a replay. You can all get access to it later, so don't feel like you have to be there live. But we're going to share all these lessons. We're going to share how we prepped it, how we positioned it, how we launched it, what we're doing to already make changes to it to make it even better, so that if you wanted to run your own community, whether it's on Circle or not, Circle is the platform that we're using, circle.app, circle.so. It's just hopefully going to be an educational thing for you. So yeah, stoked on that for sure. Let's see. Question, I just started out my podcast. I want to grow my audience. How do I grow my audience? Number one, remain consistent. It is a long-term process, but you can speed it up a little bit in terms of results by number two, getting onto other people's podcasts. If you get on other people's podcasts, you are getting endorsed by the host. You are able to get and step in right in front of that audience and have them hear your voice. And if you can provide them value, then amazing. They're going to come over to you. People listening on a podcast already have access to the app that they go and need to subscribe you from. Versus if they're, social media posts or something. I'm thinking about all the hoops that a person has to go through to be able to listen to and then subscribe to your show when they weren't there to listen to a podcast in the first place. So getting endorsed and getting on another person's show is going to be great. And then number three, constructing episodes that are worth sharing. Maybe it's a very specific niched episode that group of people who you built it for is going to go gangbusters and crazy and sharing it with the communities. I've done that before. Episode 96 of the SPA podcast was amazingly well received in the artist community, and I thought it was going to be a dead episode because it was specifically for artists like sculptors, painters, etc., who were trying to make money online, and my audience is not that. But because it was so specific, a few of my audience shared it with some people who then shared it with some people who then shared it with some people, and it was actually the most downloaded episode that year, which was pretty cool. And that was back in 2011 or so, which is pretty cool. So that's how I'd grow the show. Can we do something to get this creators of brand standing to create more units? Yeah, they have reached out to me. They want to do something with me, so we're going to be talking about that. Brand standing is the game that we play here on the chat, on the stream. Let's actually play. Let's play a quick one right now while we're here. And I'm just going to call some people out. If that makes sense. Love this song, says Dr. Joel. Thank you. Let me see. What is the song? Cool. So let's play one really quick. Thank you, Susan. Or Jamming, sorry. Let's do a fun one. Let's see, we've done these ones before. Here we go. Hold on, I'm just... Here we go. A burger joint for Vikings. A burger joint for Vikings. Let me know what you think the brand name should be. The burger joint for Vikings. I'm thinking thinking Viking ships. I'm thinking Iceland. I'm thinking the Viking chant. I'm thinking like dragon burgers. Like dragons are very much associated with Vikings. Like How to Train Your Dragon is a great series or a great movie. Let's see. Yeah, so think of some, and I'll just keep this one up the whole time. Raw burger, just literally raw burger. I like that. That's funny. A burger joint for Vikings. Pillage burger. Valhalla burgers. These are really good. I like that. Nordic nom. Nordic nom nom, or nom nom Nordic. I like where you're going. Save like a bear. Smash burger. Yes, Gabriella, because that's actually a thing. That's so good. Game of burgers. Odin burgers. Forden beef burgers. Man, you guys are smart. Minnesota meats. I know I went another way. Right? Minnesota Vikings. I see you. I see you. Norse burger. Killer burgers. Odin burgers. Good stuff. I love it. I love it. You guys keep sharing. Erica and the Red Burgers. I'm going to answer some more questions here while we're going. But yeah, I'll see what I can do to get those guys to speed up the process, because and we've only scratched the surface of this game. I mean, the real way to play this game is there's a person who's an investor, and you have to actually have different phases. One is the brand name phase. Another one is now the pitch phase. The next one is sort of like creating a design for the logo and things like that. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. All right, let's keep going here with some questions. Question from AV Piers. I have a friend who is starting a podcast about teens and the struggles they go through in society, coping, etc. Any tips, advice, etc. for this niche? I mean, I would say the more that you can get teens on the show who can perhaps not just hear the advice, but hear somebody else like them have gone through something, it's going to be a lot more relatable, I think. Storytelling, maybe this person can't bring teens on, or maybe that's a little bit more complicated. Well, at least telling stories. Storytelling is everything. Storytelling, relatability, and having the audience feel like that they're not alone. I think that's really good. And then having access. I think creating a community where people can connect with each other can be a really smart thing within that space too. But definitely the storytelling. I mean, that's not just for that niche. It's for every niche. We need to get more into storytelling. And storytelling sells. Storytelling relates. Storytelling inspires. Storytelling motivates. Storytelling makes people feel more comfortable. So that's where I would go for sure. Gadgeteer, Pat, with all of your income streams, do you still worry about money? It's a constant stressor for me as an entrepreneur. Every day is a roller coaster. I still worry about money because, and it's in a different way now, right? When I first started out, my worry was just, am I going to have enough to survive, right? I got laid off and I was starting a family, and I knew that I was going to be okay, but I didn't know in what way. I would have been able to move back with my parents, which in fact I did, as I was building my business, as I was getting ready to prepare for getting laid off and all this stuff. So then the worry was, okay, well, can I keep this going? Can I keep it evergreen? And so building systems and building businesses that were much more passive and really honing in on what was unique to me so that I can better position myself and my brand, stepping forward and taking bolder actions to actually create courses, create more programs and whatnot that would then supplement that income. Diversity became a really important thing as well. And then now the worry is, well, I have a team. I have 6 people full-time. We're hiring more people. We have SPI Pro. We're hiring a community manager now. And all this stuff, like, these people rely on me and the reputation and the brand to pay for their home, to pay for their kids, to pay their kids' health and insurance and their health insurance and their kids, 401ks and all this stuff. And I feel so much more responsible for the lives of others now, even though I know I was responsible for the lives of my audience as well. But this is like, if I do something wrong or the brand somehow goes sour and loses its income streams, well, then that's my entire team and my friends, essentially, people who I love to death, who would be affected by that. And that's where I worry. And that's what continues to drive me to refine, to get better, to continue to expand my knowledge, to continue to optimize and improve what I'm doing. Hey Pat, any advice if my first workshops didn't get a single person to register? Yeah, I mean, I would reach out to people who perhaps you found that were interested in it but didn't go and ask them why they didn't go. just straight up ask, hey, we had this workshop and it was planned, but I see that you were interested, but you didn't show up. Might you be able to share with me why you weren't able to make it? You might find out some really interesting information. If they start sharing things like, oh, it's the price, well, just realize that when people say price is the issue, that's just code word for I didn't believe that the value I was getting back in exchange was worth my time and or money. So just keep that in mind. But I would dive into the why and try to figure out and try to solve that puzzle. Then try again and using those things that you learned, and also trying to see how you might be able to ask people individually to start. If you're right at the beginning, oftentimes instead of just a general landing page that you send people to with a sales page and information to register, an actual invitation or reach out to people can go a very, very long way. So in fact, like a DM in a social media platform, or a direct email, or even a phone call or text message to somebody that you might go, hey, I have a workshop coming up, it's about this. Is this something that you'd be interested in? If not, no worries. And that direct ask and invitation essentially can go a very, very long way. Hi, Flynn, thanks to you. Thanks for your What If I Have a Day Job episode. Started back to work this week, thinking about my why and time and working today on my lunch. Nice, Diana. Well done. And thank you for the feedback on that episode. That was surprisingly very well received. I mean, I'm not surprised, but it definitely stood out in the last month or so as the most popular live stream that we've done so far. Might you do a book designed to transform our website, applying all you've taught us and using examples? I have some ideas. Might I do a book? So, that's interesting. I haven't really thought about writing a book about the sort of technicalities of websites and brand and design, although that's definitely something I feel I would be somewhat qualified to do. And plus, with access to everybody else who I have, and especially the examples from the SPI audience, it would be really cool to maybe even crowdsource some of that, and maybe do sort of a before-after book, right? And with results and whatnot. That'd be really inspiring. But I think that the issue with, from my point of view as a creator and having the option to create all kinds of books, I want to create books that are definitely evergreen and everlasting as much as possible. And a book about websites and such can be very difficult to maintain because things change all the time, as you know, and there's always new trends, there's always new things that are working, that are not working. This is why I try to stay and focus on the principles or the sort of root things that are required before we get to the website, before we get to those things that do change, right? Like principles of building superfans, principles of starting something before you start, or starting something before you devote your time and money into it. So that's where Will It Fly and superfans come from. But there's definitely a book coming in the future. I definitely want to spend more the tail end of the year sort of diving into that and having it become a more general book. I've definitely gotten specific with the books that I've created recently about business. I want to go expand maybe one or two more circles out to bring more general audiences in, to be introduced to the brand and to SPI and to the income stream and whatnot. It could be a fun book after the, maybe even a small book or even a guide after the income stream hits a year. Like, I've streamed for a year, here's everything I learned, and that might be kind of fun. There's so many options, but picking the one that I want to do is going to be the biggest one. It's going to be the biggest struggle. Gadgeteer, if you only have a Facebook group, are you able to create Facebook ads and promote your website? You can create Facebook ads without anything on Facebook. You don't need a Facebook group. A Facebook group, however, will not give you the ability to target those group members, at least in this current moment in time. You can do that with a page, however, but a page is not worth any time and effort right now. I have 150,000 fans or likes on a Facebook page, and it does nothing other than allow me to target those people, which isn't even that powerful anymore compared to targeting people who are on your email list or lookalike audiences on your email list and whatnot. So yeah, you can run ads without a Facebook group. A Facebook group is still great though, however, because it really brings your community together. You can have conversations there. It can be really fantastic. All right. Looking for more questions here. Questions from AB peers. I have a friend who is starting a podcast. Oh, we answered that question already. You use the Rodecaster for streaming and through what software? So I have the Rodecaster Pro, indeed, like for sound effects and for my audio. I have my XLR shotgun microphone kind of wrapping right around the screen here, following my arm, and then the microphone is, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's right there. And that's a Rode NTG2. Excuse me, yeah, is that a Rode? Rode NTG2, yeah, shotgun mic. And the software I'm using is Ecamm Live. So the Ecamm Live is using the Rodecaster Pro as the input device. And what's really cool is I can also include music like you're hearing right now from my computer through the stream into your ears, like what I'm doing through Spotify right now. It's cool. Again, big shout out to Harris Heller. This is what I'm using Stream Beats on Spotify. And from Harris Heller, look at copyright-free electronic music for your Twitch streams, YouTube videos, and glow stick parties. Super cool. Thank you, Harris Heller. See you, Peasant. Thanks so much for joining us today. I appreciate you. All right, let's keep going here. If I have a really popular free mini workshop, but no one registers for my paid ones, what should I do? I would dive a little bit more into the problems and pains of your target audience, right? What is such a problem or challenge that it's worth their time and money to spend. The fact that you have a free mini workshop is a great thing, because now you have a target audience already who you have direct access to. Really start having conversations with them. I guarantee you, Dustin, that the more conversations you have, the more insight that you're going to get from those people, and it's going to help give you a lot of direction too. Asma says, it's important to be charismatic when you do your business. If yes, how do you have it if you're not a social person? Charisma is an interesting topic, right? Because you don't want to fake who you are. I think confidence is the better keyword instead of charisma, because I think charisma can lead us to become somebody who we are not. Charisma in your own way, I guess you could say, because I think charismatic people are often pulled into the overly excited people who are always on fire, no matter what happens, no matter even if they have a bad day, they can just change it up, and then they turn the camera off, and then they're just regular people. I like just to be me, right? And I think you have to be you, Asma. And if you're not a social person, that's okay. It just means that you value stronger relationships with people, as opposed to trying to sort of make friends with everybody. You have a small, tight group of people that you probably hang out with and that you care about. And I would consider finding those types of relationships in your audience as well, Asma. The people who do gravitate toward you for you. And because your vibe attracts your tribe, right? If you were to be somebody who you're not and you're attracting people, whether that's being overly charismatic because you think you have to be, or because you rent Lamborghinis and you pop them in your videos, people are gonna start liking you, but not you. They're gonna like what they see or who you are pretending to be, not the actual person who you are. So that's kind of what I would recommend. All right, keep scrolling down here. Question from Renzo: what are the KPIs or metrics podcasters should put in their attention to improve in metrics for podcasts is very tough because there aren't a lot of analytics to work with. It's not like YouTube where they give us everything under the sun. Obviously downloads are important, but KPIs would be increased downloads, right? Are you trending upward versus just downloads in general? Also paying attention to different episodes and how they respond to the audience, or how the audience responds to them. If there are certain episodes that seem to get more listens, pay attention to those topics and see how you might be able to unpack those a little bit more and use that information in your decision-making moving forward. Another really, really big metric in the podcasting space that's important is retention rate. So within Apple Podcast metrics or within Google Podcast metrics, you're able to see how long people are listening to certain episodes for. And really paying attention and diving deep into that particular part of the metrics can be really important, because you can see where people are dropping off in certain episodes and make sure to never do that again. You can see generally how your retention rate is, and you can work on your hooks, and you can see how much those are improving over time. So those are the really key metrics and KPIs in particular that have to do with your business. You want to pay attention to if you have any tracking capability, from links to landing pages to then conversions. Like those kinds of things can be really key too, but are a little bit more difficult to track in the world of podcasting. And he says, Pat, your shirt looks awesome. Thank you. This was designed in 2014 by a friend of mine, Dustin, and it's Ask Pat. The P and the A and the T are just made up of a bunch of different things because we talk about a bunch of different things on my show, Ask Pat. All right. Yo, Justin, you didn't have to do that. Yo, you guys don't have to contribute, seriously. Like, there's stuff going on in the world today, but I appreciate you so much. I happily accept it, but again, not absolutely required at all. No fee required, but Justin, thank you so much for that. That's going to be pushed over to polarisproject.org this month, helping to put a stop to human trafficking and helping out victims of human trafficking. polarisproject.org. Justin says, hey Pat, I just want to say thank you for everything you've done for me. I used to work as a bakery manager at a grocery store from 2014 to 2016. I've since grown my own business to 6-figure income. Man, that's so awesome. Justin, congratulations to you. And thank you so much for sharing that and coming here and sharing that in front of everybody. That means a lot, and your donation goes a very, very long way, so thank you. All right, any experience with or knowledge of 3-for-1 web hosting? I don't, Greg. I've never heard of them. Peter George, my background is sales and photography. Can you teach people sales business via what I've learned from taking over photography business from 75K over to just 350K a year? Can you teach people sales? Yeah, I mean, obviously you'd have a lot to share. I think that you have something unique that a lot of people who are trying to teach sales or entrepreneurship online don't have, which is a real case study. This was something that helped me stand out in 2008 when I got started, because I really wanted to share everything I was learning about Green Exam Academy and the business that I started there. And I found that as soon as I started using examples from my other business in smartpassiveincome.com, people were gravitating toward that really quickly, because a lot of other people were just regurgitating what other people were saying and posting it online. And it wasn't really providing any additional value, or it didn't even seem like it was anything unique or new. Here I was using real case studies for myself, and that was a great example that inspired a lot of people with my income reports and the failures and the mistakes and the things that I've learned. I think that could be great. And I think that if you wanted to test this out and see if it was actually something you wanted to do more often, like see if you can find 1 or 2 people that you can essentially take under your wing, if you want to call it that, and see if you even enjoy doing this. I think a lot of people love the idea of things, but then when we actually put it into action, we just realize that it's maybe nothing that we wanted to do, or it's different than we thought it would be. So I'd recommend, Peter, if you're gonna start teaching other people business and sales, like try to find another photographer, for example, and see how you might be able to help them. If you really love that, if they really love it and it works out for both of you, then yes, then you can go all into it and start building the website and start collecting more clients potentially. But try to start small and start with getting 1 person, 1 result. Justin, thank you so much for, again, your super chat, my friend. I appreciate you. Okay. Today's lesser audience and Pat more relaxed too. Yes, Sundays, people have church on Sundays, which I get, and this is why it's just a little bit more relaxed. I can get some questions that perhaps were on everybody's mind. Friday fun days are definitely. This is my break. I don't want to break the streak yet. It'll eventually be broken, but not anytime soon, I'm imagining. Timing may change based on when schools start, but I'm still going to show up every day for you. But Sunday is my relaxed day, so I appreciate you giving me a little bit of breathing room here to just chill out and answer some questions and just be with you. We got 15 minutes left, and this is I really look forward to this day because I can just kind of chillax. I don't have to prepare ahead of time like I do with the other ones. And then tomorrow we'll get back into it. So thank you. I appreciate you. Still worth sitting up. Thank you, Peter. Asma says, how do you choose your team to be great together? This is a great question because a team has been so instrumental in the success that we've had recently, especially with things like SPI Pro, where I just have to come up with the idea and show up. and they've put everything else together. And I think that it's just happened over time that we've connected with certain people. We kind of know the type of people that we like to work with and the values that we would love to have entered into the brand or amplified in the brand. We hire for culture, not for task, if you will. We hire the talent, but not, we hire the person, not the talent. The talent is the byproduct. So this helps us stay really close. Another great thing that we do on our team is we have a lot of time each week to connect with each other as real people. Not talking about business, but talking about our own lives at home and how we can support each other with that. It's called Retro. We have a Retro on Friday where we get together 1 hour. Every person talks about their wins for the week, things that they wish were done differently, and talking about their personal life more than their business. And I think that's really key, and that's how we stay together too. Paxton is very thankful to you, Pat, and thankful for this community. Thankful for you, my friend. Appreciate you being here. The question from Dole Whip Dad. I'm not at the pay someone to edit for me point yet, but what's a good price point to pay a video editor? I see services that charge $350 a month and such. What's a ballpark point? It definitely ranges, as you've seen, Dole Whip Dad. I mean, there are people who will charge per video a certain number of dollars, or retainer, like you said, $350 a month to just get a certain number of done. That's the sort of position that I have with my videographer, Caleb, and his editor. We have a retainer fee every month, and it's definitely a little bit more than $350, but it's not tens of thousands of dollars or thousands of dollars. It's gonna vary. What's a good price point? I mean, you might have a budget to experiment with on places like Upwork or even Fiverr.com right now, just to kind of get some basic stuff done. Because I mean, you think about it, it's time that you're paying. You're buying time essentially with these kinds of investments. So I think it's really important to consider that when it comes to, well, I don't know if I'm in the right, if it's the right time for me to do it yet. It may or may not be, but I think that it's going to be. I don't know what the average would be or what would be a great sort of place to start, but I mean, $50 to $100 per video is pretty standard, I've heard. And if you can get $350 a month and do more than 4 videos like that, that's a pretty good deal, I think. Question from Renzo: which books would you recommend for us podcasters and digital entrepreneurs? So I would definitely recommend The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. The One Thing. I think Best Year Ever is still a great book by Michael Hyatt. Best Year Ever. And it relates to his full focus journal and the planning and the goal setting. But I think that with whatever we do, podcasting or not, we need to set proper goals, because it's the goals that affect the actions that we make and the decisions that we make. And I think that's really key. So, and then finally, Ask. Ask is a really great book by Ryan Levesque, Levesque. Yes, for Levesque. It's almost spelled like Levesque. But Ryan Levesque's book, Ask, was a big game changer for me and my audience, and how we've developed programs and how we've understood more about what our audience wants. So Ask, Best Year Ever, and The One Thing for sure. Thank you, Jonathan. Stoked you were doing these live streams. I appreciate you. Stoked that you're here. Let's see, if my audience is small, is it too early to launch a membership offering? I think you'd want to get a audience size of maybe around 300 to start. You know, some people say get to 1,000 people in your subscription base first, or 1,000 emails, and then start from there. I think you could start sooner than that, but I would shoot for trying to get a couple hundred to start, because that's a great baseline of people who perhaps have a certain interest or who've come to you because of a certain interest. And then now you can work with that group of people and find a certain percentage of them to want to work with you to do a membership or have some activity. The thing that you need to know about in terms of a membership is that you don't want people to come in and have it be a ghost town. You want people who come in who are fired up, who can converse with each other. You want it to start taking a life of its own. And if you have 2 people in there, it's not really considered a membership. It might be more like a group coaching program to start. So I would try to get to maybe 200, 300 people in your audience first, to just even start contemplating it, and then having conversations with people about what they might want in that community. Maybe even bring this community together temporarily in a Facebook group, but then move on to something like Circle.so, where you're able to have a much better and more organized experience. Jasmine says, we only have 10 minutes left. Yeah, how crazy is that? That's so insane. Okay, let's keep going here. We got some great questions coming in. Thank you all. Good morning, Chris. Great to see you here. A little distracting. Wasn't sure where the music was coming from at first. Yeah, today we just have music in the background. If it's too loud, let me know. I can turn it down a little bit. Who would have thought that 151 days ago that I would be sitting here with my new family eating the best sandwich I've ever had from a recipe I learned right here on the income stream from Rhino Dog. No way, Jen. Tell us a little bit more about that recipe, because that sounds amazing. With a tomato, I grew in my own garden, and now I'm gardening too. Full circle, Jen. So cool. I'm so thankful that you're here, Jen. You're awesome. Bernard says, I've been to a super crowded party years ago, which gives me anxiety now. Like every time I see TV or television or movies where there's a bunch of people in a crowd, I'm like, coronavirus. Even though it was like filmed years ago, right? I don't know. I just have it. Cool. Maybe the music today. I chose a different channel, and it seems more electronic dance music-y. Let's see if I can put something. And this is a learning process, so I appreciate you for the feedback, everybody. I'm gonna pop on something different instead, which is Stream Beats on YouTube, because YouTube Stream Beats I think is a little bit more chill, and the Spotify one, it was not exactly what I thought it was. So let's go to Stream Beats. Lo-fi, that's what I wanted. There, how's that? A little bit less like. Are you gardening, projecting again today? I am. We are going to the next phase of the garden bed, so I have to add some little connectors on each of the corners to make sure that things don't warp over time. And then I'm gonna add some, lay down a layer of garden fabric so that the weeds won't pop up, and then we're gonna start filling it up. The kids are also gonna be painting on these little pieces of wood that I had from scraps that we're gonna then pop onto each of their raised gardens. Doug says, that music is better. Thank you. Yeah, I think I thought the one from Spotify was the chill one, but it wasn't the chill one. Thank you. Sorry about that, y'all. Cool. Questions coming in. Let's see. We only have a couple minutes left. Sorry about that. Okay, let's go to... Question. If you were laid off today during COVID, would you consider creating a YouTube channel or a podcast first? Which do you think would generate income more readily based on the new work from home habits? Which one would I do first? I always recommend people start with what's easier for them. For me, it would be a podcast, because I just have to get behind a microphone and I can really go all in on that. And that's a big wave that people are coming in. I think it would be easier to collaborate with people via a podcast and get in front of other audiences versus starting a YouTube channel from scratch and then trying to collaborate right up front. It's going to be very difficult versus podcasting. You can do that up front. I know the power of collaboration to grow. So that's why I think I would lean more toward the podcasting side of things. However, that being said, monetization, I think, could potentially happen much faster on YouTube. In particular from the ads, as well as brand sponsorships and things like that. Doing reviews and affiliate marketing, I think it would be so much easier to create a video reviewing a product and getting paid affiliate income than doing a podcast about a product and getting paid an affiliate income. The audience reach potential is much larger on YouTube. The audience intimacy is much bigger on a podcast. So there's pros and cons, right? I would say I would start with the one that is best for you. And for me, it would be a podcast today, for sure. Question, this is for the productivity workshop last time. I've tried out Pomodoro technique for productivity for purpose. Is there any resource that you can recommend for better hacks? I would recommend Productivityist. Productivityist. That is a friend of mine who talks about productivity all the time, and he is a great resource. Let me see if I can find his URL specifically. I guess he has a book too, which is pretty cool. Mike Vardy is his name. Productivityist. Here's his website. I don't know why this whole left side is open. It should be centered, or I was imagining there was going to be a picture there. But Productivityist. His name's Mike Vardy. Good guy, family man, just really good person. And that would be a great place to learn some more hacks. He taught me a lot of things too. Yeah, we got 3 minutes left. How crazy is that? Pat, I like to work with data. I'm feeling a bit that it's hard to niche. It's a hard niche to start with on YouTube, even though it's important in our lives regarding health. How would I best promote a database channel on YouTube? I would get trendy with it. And what I mean is I would follow the same path as my good friend Ben Sullins. Ben Sullins started a data-centric YouTube channel. And it was about how he used spreadsheets and how he found data and the different findings that we could get from that. And then he created a video randomly one day about Tesla and how he created a data-based approach to convince his wife to buy a Tesla. And that video went viral. And now Ben is known as Teslanomics. He's been creating videos about data, but specifically for Tesla. And everything from mileage and range to prices and just the business and its growth in general and stocks and everything data related about Tesla, full self-driving, all the things. He's got, I think, over 100,000 subs now. And he has been invited to the reveals at Tesla in Fremont, and all these other fun things have happened as a result of that. It's almost like a musician, right? If you're a musician and you're trying to get big on YouTube, I would do covers in my own style, honestly, because that's how you can get popular and get seen, and then you can launch your own music from there, your own originals. That's how a lot of musicians and artists have done it. They take on what is trendy and use their own superpowers with that. So Rex, might there be a way for you to use your data superpower mining capabilities with something related to something popular? Maybe right now it's all data related to the upcoming election. That might be really interesting. I don't know if you want to get into that. Maybe it's data around coronavirus. Maybe it's data around how different industries are getting impacted by what's happening. So anyway, just thought I'd share that out there. Will you be interviewing the epic gardening guy, Kevin Espiritu, on the podcast? I'd love to at some point, or at least get him on the channel. That'd be really fun. Would you collaborate with someone from a different industry for a podcast or a YouTube channel, or stick to your own industry and build yourself? The other person has a much bigger following, LOL. I would collaborate if it was useful to my audience, if I had done so. If I could get information that my audience would be able to receive and get value from, then yes, absolutely. There would be no reason not to just stick in your own industry and go to. There wouldn't be a reason not to go out and find other people. I think that'd be really smart and a great way to diversify, a great way to potentially reach newer audiences, so long as I'm doing it because it's going to help the audience, not because I just want to collaborate with this person. All right, y'all, it is that time of the day. I gotta go pick up some deck screws because the ones that I got were a little bit too short for the next part of the project. But if you want to follow along in the project that I'm working on in the garden, you can follow me on Instagram, instagram.com/PatFlynn. I appreciate y'all being here with me on a Sunday, and thanks for all the donos today. And can't wait to see where we end up with polarisproject.org and the donation that we're gonna be all sending together at the end. I'm taking all that money from the memberships and the super chats, and we're going to be pouring it into helping put a stop to human trafficking. So polarisproject.org if you want to learn more. Thank you, chat. You were amazing. I appreciate you for your time today. And let's keep up the good work. We'll see you tomorrow with a brand new topic, and we'll have some fun, make it great, And just please have an amazing and relaxing and also productive Sunday too. I want you to finish the day thinking about it, starting with the income stream and all the other fun things that you do today, and consider it a win. Let's go for a win today, my friends. I appreciate you. So cheers, thanks so much. And as always, Team Flynn for the win. I appreciate you.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
That clap reminded me of when I was an extra in a film. We were supposed to clap in an audience, but we weren't allowed to make noise. So I would like extend your fingers out like this. So that's how I'm not. So random. Have a good Sunday, y'all. I appreciate you. See you tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, right here, patflynn.com/theincomestream. See you then. Peace and love. Love y'all.
Bruh.